Welcome to the Success School podcast. I'm your host, Tim Frey, and today I'm going to be talking to you about setting goals and actually achieving them. So during this episode, I'm going to be chatting about the simple way to set business, lifestyle, and audience goals. And I'm going to give you guys permission to think big here. Not that you needed permission, but it is okay to think big and want more from life and want more from your business. I'm also going to tell you how to break your goals down into smaller chunks to make them seem a lot more achievable. I know a lot of the times we set this big, hairy, audacious goal and you're sitting there thinking, how am I actually going to get this done? But the process of doing it is far more simple than you actually think. I'm going to teach you that in this podcast episode. So a big fucking woohoo. Success School hit 100 members. This was actually our 3-month goal after launch. It's been 20 days at the time of this recording. So we've hit our 3-month goal in 20 days, which is wild. Just goes to show if you're on the path to, I guess, living your passion and helping people like you would like to, things are just a lot easier than you think. And I've been speaking about this on the journey of this podcast over the last couple of episodes, but find that thing you're passionate about. For me, it's helping people, and I want to help 1,000 entrepreneurs build a 7-figure business. And that's what I'm going to do on this podcast journey and in our Success School program. So I actually wanted to talk a little bit about a bugbear in the coaching industry of mine. And it's a common theme to attack other coaches online for what they wear, what cars they drive, how they look, what they post, what they stand for. It's coaches attacking coaches, which I think is pretty pathetic if you ask me. It comes from like a scarce mindset and a lack mindset. Whatever happened to just coaches wanting to help their clients, and whatever happened to coaches wanting to provide value on social media? How about if we got back to that? Imagine what the world would look like if we actually just got back to helping people, providing value, and coaches helping their clients, not trying to drag each other down on social media, and especially for social clout. It's kind of pathetic if you ask me. And stay away from coaches that do that. It's not a great thing for the industry, and it's not a great thing for the client. Speaking of cars and coaches bringing each other down, I got a Range Rover Sport last month. It's an incredible car, and it's always been a goal of mine. That's why I'm talking about it, to have a nice luxury vehicle. And the dealer was saying to me, the car dealer, by the way, not drug dealer, but if you guys have one of those, send it over as well. The dealer was saying cars are like a ladder. You just keep kind of like stepping up the ladder. I hadn't really thought about it like that, but business is the exact same. I guess you just keep stepping up. And that's where goals come into this. Is I had some pretty small goals when I first started out in business, and eventually they got bigger and bigger, just like the investment of the cars that I have in my life. I've always wanted a Lamborghini, and it might seem silly, but I just like having nice things and I like having nice cars. There's nothing wrong with that, but I want to have a Lamborghini, and I'd assume I will have one in the next couple of years. It's quite a ridiculous goal, but I think I heard Alex Hormozi talk about it. It's like once you have like a stupid or silly supercar like that, you kind of get over it after a while, which is cool too. And I'm looking forward to going through that journey for myself, but it's always been a massive goal of mine is to have a supercar like a Lamborghini. So watch this space. Maybe you're listening to this a couple of years later, like I've recorded this and it's a few years down the track, and you follow me on social media and I actually do have one, which is exciting. But you know, goals are a fascinating topic, and one of my mentors, I've actually never met him. When I say mentor, sometimes I actually haven't met these people. They just mentor me with their education experiences and just following them on social media. But his name's Grant Cardone, Mr. 10X, and he has a fascinating way of setting goals. And his way of setting goals is all around 10xing your goal. So hypothetically speaking, if my goal was to make $1 million, I would set the goal for 10. And what happens when you set the goal for $10 million is generally you need to 10x your action. So simple goal, 10x it, then you're going to have to 10x your action. What's going to happen if you 10x the output? What's going to happen if you 10x the output of your marketing, of your sales, of your client reach outs, of your promotion? Obviously, you're going to get a better result. So if your goal is $1 million and you set it to 10x the level of action, you're obviously going to achieve that goal a lot faster, which is a fascinating way of doing goals. I do like it, but I want to make it a little bit more achievable for you guys. And how I'm going to make it more achievable is to break it down into a step-by-step way. And then we're going to make it into a 90-day plan, then you can go and execute that 90-day plan. So you've got 4 lots of 90 days every 12 months, and then you can multiply that by 10, and that means you've got 40 90-day sprints. All you need to do is sprint for 90 days, achieve your goal. And if you achieve it a little bit earlier, then you can take a couple weeks off. Even if you don't achieve it, you're probably moving towards your goal quite a lot faster than you normally would. So specifically today, we're going to set a 10-year goal, and we're going to set a financial goal for that. So I want you guys to think about how much money you want to make in 10 years for that calendar year. So hypothetically for me, it's $10 million. So then I'm going to break that down into a 3 year. So we're making $1 million a year, and we're breaking it down to 3 years, which is $3 million. Then we're going to break that down into 1 year, which is $1 million. And then we're going to break that down into 90 days. So that's divided by 4, which is 250K. So then I'm going to ask myself, how many products or services will I need to sell to make 250K? And for me, that's around 8 people into Success School per month. So that's 90 days, 8 people per month, is about 24 in a 12-week period, or 90 days, which is doable. So what would my marketing have to look like to get 24 people into Success School in 90 days? So let's hypothetically say that I have to have double the amount of sales conversations, so 48. How would I get 48 leads in a 12-week period? There's a little bit of a clue there into how you break your goals down into smaller and smaller sections. So 48 leads, I would probably have to get a lead magnet downloaded 10 times that. So 48 times 10 is 480. So how would I get 480 lead magnet downloads in a 90-day period? Well, A, you'd have to have a pretty fucking epic lead magnet. B, it would have to be valuable to the target market that I am going after. So I signed up to this coaching program for fitness when I was first starting out. So I built a gym in my parents' garage, and it was actually an old swimming pool. So me and my dad ripped out the swimming pool. It was like fiberglass, I think it was. And then we filled it in with sand by hand with wheelbarrows and shovels, compacted it, laid a concrete slab on it. We did this all ourselves, which is wild. You think about a full swimming pool filled in with sand and then concrete. Anyway, I had a business coach at the time, and we were setting goals. And I remember getting on a sales conversation with this business coach, and they asked me, what is your goal? And I said, I want to make 100K per year, which I thought was fucking crazy at the time. It was absolutely astronomical to me. The amount was so much money. I thought I'd be swimming on my bed in $100 bills. And then I hit that goal pretty quickly. And then I thought to myself, maybe I need to set my goals bigger. And what would happen if I actually set my goals bigger? Well, as Grant Cardone would say, you set your goals bigger and then you take bigger actions. So that's what I did. My next goal was $1 million, and I 10x'd my action, and it took me towards that number pretty quickly. There's a few hints I'm dropping to you in this podcast, and I hope you're getting the themes. If you have bigger goals, you take bigger action. But the whole crux of this episode is I want you to set a 10-year goal for financial, break it down to 3, break it down to 1 year, and then break it down into a 90-day plan. Once you have a 90-day plan, work out how many services or products you would need to sell in that 90 days of your one thing that we've chatted about. And then what would the marketing look like for that one thing? Then you know the number you're going to have to go after for your marketing to build the sales, to build the business and reach your financial. You can do this for every area of life, not just business. You can actually do this for like audience, which is also business related if you want to build an audience, or you have lifestyle goals as well. So you have a house that you want to buy. What's that going to look like? How we break it down? What are the steps? Yada, yada, yada. You get the process, but we start big and then we get more granular as we come down. It's a really good framework to build a 90-day plan or a sprint. If I said to you right now on this podcast, I said, I want you to make $10 million in the next 10 years. You'd probably be like, fuck, how do I do that? But if I give you a 90-day plan and an actionable 90-day plan of how many leads and sales you would have to make, it seems way more achievable. And it is way more achievable. So my homework for you on this podcast episode today is set your 10-year goal, set your 3-year goal, set your 1-year goal, set your 90-day sprint, and go after your 90-day sprint with everything that you have. On the next episode, I'm going to be talking to you about the one thing. And we're going to go a little bit deeper on the one thing. I'm going to give you guys a little bit more clarity on the one thing and what that actually looks like in your business. Like always, guys, I hope you got tons of value from this episode.